Alright dudes, Christmas is right around the corner, and I've been a pretty good boy this year. I'm expecting a really epic retro video game haul. It's Christmas Eve here now, but depending on your time zone, whether you're in the US or Perth, you might be watching this a few weeks earlier. So tonight, we're pulling a Christmas all-nighter. I am hyped on sugar. My mum is at some party, and we'll be staying up ourselves and waiting for Santa Claus to arrive. So let's kick it off with a game that just oozes Christmas spirit. I have already touched on Nights into Dreams in my Sega Saturn review, but if you've picked up one of the HD re-releases, you already got most of the Christmas features built in, plus a few great seasonal bonuses like Halloween costumes. But with a few exclusive Saturn treats and Sega's official 3D controller, let's just try and stay up until Santa gets here.
The Leftover Culture Review.
So Nights into Dreams is one of the more definitive games for the Sega Saturn. So with the American Sonic team working on the next Sonic game, that never actually happened, Nights pretty much had to step up and be the mascot for the Sega Saturn. On a system with so many arcade ports and conversions, Nights into Dreams still feels incredibly refreshing, though not entirely out of place. So the game itself is really short, but like an arcade game, you'll be playing each stage a few different times, trying to find the most efficient route and stringing together the highest amount of combos. Like an arcade game, you'll need to start memorizing the stages, item placements and enemy positions, so you can race through and get the best time. The Nights into Dreams disc is simply a demo of the first stage for Elliot, with a unique route for Claris. If you've got a Saturn, but not the pocket money for Nights into Dreams, I still think this is a fantastic way to experience the game on the original hardware with the 3D controller. And it is a fantastic looking game, bright, vibrant and fast with a real sense of speed. This is everything Sonic should have been, and you're probably not here to play it like this anyway. If you bought the Christmas Nights demo disc, you want to experience some goddamn Christmas cheer. Thankfully, one of the first options you'll be unlocking is the chance to play it in Christmas mode all the time. And this game is seriously brimming with Christmas cheer. Blazing through the stages with Nights is a real joy, providing that you like Christmas. And for a simple reskin, the stages actually feel pretty unique. Fail to meet the time requirement and you'll find yourself on foot, just like in the full game. But exploring the Winter Wonderland on foot gave me a full-blown case of Christmas tinselitis. Oh, terrible, terrible dad joke. But one of the coolest unlockables on this disc has to be Sonic's first 3D appearance on the Sega Saturn. Sonic Dreams didn't make it into the HD re-releases either, so this is one of the only ways to experience this version. So, how amazing is it? If you're a fan of Sonic Team, Sonic the Hedgehog, and the Sega Saturn, you'll probably get a bit of a kick out of it. But there is a much better chance that you'd rather just keep playing as Nights. It is just a bonus minigame, and Sonic doesn't have any of his trademark moves. You do get to have a boss fight though against Eggman, who appears as a reskinned Puffy from the full game. So one cool thing about having the demo to play is that the performance pressure is off. It's not all about winning and getting the highest score and making it to the next stage. I had plenty of time to just jerk around and try out different things. It was really interesting exploring the stage with Sonic, Elliot or Claris. The game is obviously geared towards racing through it with Nights, but I was surprised that
There's platforms set up within the stages, and it was cool seeing these stages from a totally different perspective.
So I've heard Nights into Dreams pretty much described as a 2D game that uses polygons, and in terms of the core gameplay, that's kinda true, but watching these worlds unfold in 3D as you're walking around on foot makes me feel like this game's been sold a bit short.
You know, especially considering this engine was reused for Burning Ranges, and that was one of the best 3D titles on the Sega Saturn.
As far as game demos go, this one was released after the main game was already on store shelves, and it really is more of a promotional item. So in saying that, everything from the main game is intact here, from the cutscenes,
All the character models, sound effects, down to the Nights into Dreams A-Life system. And depending on how you treat these little guys, the music and their animations start to reflect whether you're nice or you're mean to them. It's a cool little touch.
that does absolutely nothing for the gameplay, but it does add a bit to the atmosphere. There's also this cool little feature where if you can hit one of the Nightmarans into the Nighttopians, you can actually breed them.
It really makes me want to go back and explore a few of the stages from the full game, check out the A-Life system in a bit more detail, and I guess finding a new appreciation for the game through its demo is a real major compliment.
Oh God, must have just missed him. Guess playing a demo until dawn isn't exactly a good idea. But hey, got one present. That's a bit pitiful. Here's hoping Mum does better. Alright, let's see. Have I been a good or a bad bruiser? The Wii exclusive follow-up to Nights into Dreams. Not exactly a lump of coal. Its biggest issue might actually be the opposite. This thing is just packed with way too much fluff. Night's Journey of Dreams has some fantastic cinematics that capture the magic and whimsy from the first game. Bright, fast, vibrant and colourful. That is, until the nightmares start to seep into the dreams of the two children. And in the first game, that's about all the explanation you got. But Night's Journey of Dreams came out in 2007. We got full-fledged tutorial stages, some really annoying help tips, and way too much story explanation. And the hardest thing for me to stomach has to be that irritating owl guide.
Pardon me, I do tend to rattle on.
There's just so much hand-holding.
During summer holidays, my dad takes me to the amusement park. But not this year.
But yeah, look, there is a lot of content here, and it's not all just fluff. So seriously, coming into a sequel 11 years after the original, things were going to change. Thankfully, you start off each new world with a shot of what made the original game so much fun in the first place. The chase stages were a particular highlight for me. And overall, I thought they were a lot of fun, really imaginative, and they played really well. Both Helen and Will have dream worlds crafted after their own personalities, and as wanky as that sounds, picking either character will take you into some pretty imaginative stages, with enemies and bosses that differ between both characters. Admittedly, I ditched the Wiimote really quickly for the GameCube controller. If you're coming from Nights into Dreams on the Sega Saturn, then dudes, BYO analog stick. It feels like a necessity. Though talking about necessities, did Nights into Dreams really need a sequel at all? I guess Nights pretty much was the mascot for the Sega Saturn, and there was a really high demand for it, but to get a sequel on a current generation system, there was going to be compromises, and I suppose catering to a more casual gamer was going to be one of those compromises they had to make. And Knight's Journey of Dreams did some really silly things, like giving everyone a voice and referring to knights as a he.
Now this one looks interesting.
And things like releasing the game for a system that doesn't have circular analog sticks and filling out the classic gameplay with that clunky platforming. At least the platforming is pretty unoffensive. But on the flip side, we got a sequel. And it was a lot more ambitious, but it still managed to capture a lot of that charm from the original game. By breaking up each dream into 5 sections, I liked the fact that I could tackle a minigame style stage or pick on a boss. It's a lot easier to dive in and start experiencing the game, especially compared to the original. So one cool addition that kept me coming back to check out was the My Dream segment. The original Nights into Dreams had the A-Life system. This game gives you a whole garden that keeps changing and adapting as you play through the game. It starts off flat and green, and it starts to adapt to how you enjoy playing the game. With set pieces that start to represent the obstacles and the challenges that you've had to overcome in the game. It's not going to make you fall in love with the game, but if you're here already, it's worth checking out, and it does add some replay value. But for me, Knight's Journey of Dreams would have better bang for buck as a physical copy. I could see myself coming back to just play through a stage, face up against a boss, or even just check out the 2-player mode. Anyway dudes, thank you so much for joining me for Christmas. I really love Nights into Dreams, and this was a great chance to check it out. I guess really importantly, stay safe over Christmas, because I really want to see you guys back here next year.
Give a star of happiness to the heart of everyone. Merry Christmas.
Thanks for watching the show. Thanks, a massive thanks to Kenny and Harlan Watton. They have provided all the music for the Leftover Culture Review this year, and hopefully they'll let me do it again next year. They've provided so many tracks. You can go check them out. Follow the link in the description or right here. And dudes, if you want some more content, like some older Christmas reviews, like of the Sega Arcade Master back there behind the Mega Drive, check out the website. I'll have an article up with just a bunch of different sort of like a Christmas flashback sort of piece, and I like to do it in like a New Year's resolution where I talk about the show, how it's been going, some of my thoughts for next year. Anyway, stay safe. Please stay safe. And hopefully I'll see you next year for a big brand new year. Merry Christmas.